Well, hello folks, welcome back to the channel. This is a somber post we're going to do. I mean, we got hammered. Sissy's going to pan around here in a minute and show you. Now, we did pick some carrots and a lot of these collard leaves off. We had the big nice ones, if you remember that last video. And Sissy's going to start panning, just pan over, honey, and show them the damage. I mean, complete obliteration. The carrots, we don't even know yet. Look here. That carrot looks fine. But look at that right there. See that different coloration? That's been frozen. That's been frozen right there. You could eat them. I mean, it'd be like eating a flash frozen carrot. We'll salvage what we can, but we're going to have to replant. The spinach, it looks a little beat up, but I think it's going to come back. It's already perking up a little. I mean, we got some damaged leaves. That's fine. We'll pick them off. But look at this. This young kale, gone. The Asian greens, gone. I mean, it just looks like you hit it with a blowtorch. But now the Salanova, the Johnny Salanova, some of it looks a little beat up, but I think that crown is still alive on some of them, so if that's the case, they'll probably recover. Whether they grow, that's the way it remains to be seen. But the baby carrots, some of them look okay, but some of them like these, they look dead. I mean, that root's dead right there. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that thing's dead. I mean, that's all there is to it. So, you know, we didn't have a high density of them in here. We'll just rip them out and replant them. I'm glad we harvested this before this stuff came in. So our salad mix, we did get a good harvest. So if it's dead, we'll replant it. But these collards are wiped out. We were going to transplant them out to the raised bed, but it don't look like that's going to happen. Now Sissy's showing the young plants right here that we just put in. All right, guys, this is a good example. Have extra seed because, you know, we double covered these. We put another layer of plastic over the racks. Didn't matter. It got down to, one morning it got in Tulsa 11 below zero. There's no way you're going to hold plants. And I know what you're thinking. I know some of our family said, why didn't you put a heater in? Well, if you remember, they recommended you didn't run any more power than you had to run. So we didn't think we could get it above freezing in here with that heater anyhow. It just won't put out enough heat with electric heater. So we just took our hit. You know, it's not like we've got 3 acres worth of plants in here. We can recover, we'll rebound. The onions don't look half bad. Look at the roots. That tells you right there they never took a hit, guys. A bulbed plant like this will usually endure a lot of cold. See, especially if you don't get your soil real wet. That didn't have a chance to freeze. So, and those onions weren't real hydrated. We never watered them. So that probably explains why they went ahead and survived this more so than anything else. But like I said, it's not a total loss. Here's our little purpleette green onions. They do not look or feel burned. Maybe some of the tips. But I think they're going to be okay. And there's probably a lot more under there that still haven't germinated yet. So, only time will tell. We'll see what we got. So I've got a whole list of things, guys, to cover today. I know you're aware of all these damages that we've had in the southern states. All the way down into growing zone 8 and 9, they've had damage. This is unprecedented. I don't think anybody's seen this coming until it's too late. The long range forecast we watched that we go off from looked really good. And then all of a sudden, about 3 days warning, and there it was. But Sissy, we're going to show them. If you guys remember, we set these bear traps for these slugs. Look at them dead in there. They were smaller than we thought. Of course, some of them sank to the bottom, but that bear did the trick. But now it's a moot point because we don't have any collards for them to eat anyhow, so we killed 2 birds with 1 stone, apparently. Honey, I wonder if we can take those and stir fry them.
I don't think so.
No, that's escargot.
Nope.
Without the shell, all you got to do is just slurp them. She's not going to go for that one. But anyhow, we got rid of the rascals, I guess. If it didn't kill them with that, it froze them to death. So, I want to give y'all's attention to this product right here. This is AgroThrive. And notice one of them is fruiting and flowering and the other one's all-purpose. And if you go on their website, pull up agrothrive.com, you can get this free introductory offer. All it costs you is $4.95 shipping anywhere in the U.S. Each one of these containers will make 1 gallon of liquid feed. This is organic certified. Honey, can you pan in on the bottom of this container? See that OMRI, guys? Organic Material Review Institute, certified. All your big growers, this company's out of California, by the way. All your big growers for years that grew organic and sold it, if you saw that organic label on that produce in the store, 9 times out of 10, it was grown with this product. Now this is available to everyone. So hey, you can't beat that, guys. For $4.95, it'll make you 2 gallons of liquid feed. We're gonna try this on some young plants that we're gonna fertilize for transplants. And more than likely, from what I've seen online, I'm probably gonna order a gallon of it to start off with, because what we'll do is we know about how many gallons is in the bottom of one of these wick tubs. So we'll go in there and we'll pre-measure this stuff full strength and put it right down that fill tube and add our water to it, and those plants can take that right up. And what I want to point out, guys, a lot of your granular or dry fertilizers, which is another granular or powdered, whatever you want to look at it, it's not immediately available to the plants. This is what they call pre-digested. Well, what does that mean? Well, that means that they've run it through a big, huge digester. It looks like a huge whiskey still, be the best way I can say it. And they let these organisms go to work in this, and that breaks all this fertilizer down and makes it immediately available to your plants. So as soon as you apply this under normal growing conditions now, you're going to see immediate results. Now if it's cold, it's going to take a while. Or if it's hot and your plants are under stress, it may take a while. But here this spring, when your plants need fertilizer immediately, that's what you want to put on. As you can tell, the county has came through and cleared the roads with the grader, so now we've got traffic running everywhere. But anyhow, I don't blame people. We got out today too. We were tired of sitting at home. So we were going to go down and shoot you a video at our supplier today, but he closed down at noon. I don't blame him for that either. Probably didn't have any business. But we'll get you that later. Right now I'm going to talk about, that's what I've got here. I've got you a price list on this AgroThrive. A gallon's $31.97. That's going to make you a lot of plant food. I've priced a lot of other liquid fertilizers and they're way higher than that. So, you know, for the $4.95, go on, like I say, go on their site, click on that free offer, and that's enough for 2 gallons. That'll let you know what you need to know right there. So, if it doesn't work for you, I mean, just go by the directions. It's immediately available. I don't know why it wouldn't work, but anyhow. So, my other point that I want to pass on to you guys, I think you'll be interested in this. You've heard of the Impossible Burgers, these meat substitutes. You know, no doubt a lot of people that are vegan would think, hey, this is probably the way to go, probably real healthy for you. Well, here's what you don't know. They make this out of chickpeas, right? Well, traditionally, in a field of peas or beans, they let those field dry on their own. So when they go out in the field and they take their hand and check the dryness, when that bean's ready to harvest with a combine, then they'll go in there and they'll cut them and combine them. Well, these chickpeas, they don't want to wait that long. They want product immediately. As soon as it's mature in the hull, guess what they do? They go in and overspray it with Roundup. Maybe 2 or 3 other weed killers. Who knows? But they kill that plant so it'll dry quicker to get that processed and get it into your stores and your food that you think's healthy. So, if you don't believe me, I mean, that's fine. You can go ahead and do your own research on it, but I promise you, that's what they're doing. I'm just trying to give you a heads up on it. And another one that you may or may not have heard of, this weather we just had, this polar vortex, we've had those before, but we're in a grand solar minimum. I didn't put a lot of faith in it either when I first heard about it, but I did my research. You can do the same thing. John L. Casey, NASA engineer. He retired out of NASA. Well, he wanted to do his own research. He bought into this global warming, climate change, and then when he studied the sun, you remember in high school, everybody was taught this in science class, and it's true. The sun cycles every 11 years. Remember 2000, we had an ice storm here in Oklahoma, those of you that live here. In 04, we had another one. Then in 2011, we had a bad winter with a lot of ice and snow that stayed on the ground about a month and a half. You say, well, big deal, that's every 11 years. Folks, I'm going to tell you something. Right now, this solar minimum we're on is called the Eddy minimum. Now, this was climatologist Jack Eddy. He's now deceased. He did years of research on this, over 20 years of research. Check it out online. Just go on, type in Eddy minimum, and look at this solar cycle that we're in right now. We just came out of 23, we're in 24. 25 and 26, the next 25 to 30 years are going to be worse than what we just went through, if you can believe that. The science is there. It's happened before. This is the one we're in right now is a once every 400 year solar cycle. It's that severe. There's severity in it, even in the, you're going to get your seasons. That's why you want to grow in a cover. Now look, you're going to say, well, it didn't save you guys. Well, no, we had unusual circumstances. We had power outages, rolling blackouts. I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to keep your house warm, you're going to keep your greenhouse warm. I mean, look, we're at the point now we can recover from this pretty quickly and replant. We're fine. But you can't abandon warming your house. You got to draw a line somewhere. So, hey, if we lost this much, we harvested a lot of crops out here this fall in early winter. Did really well, so we're not going to complain. But just, that's the contrast here. In 2015, we saw the flood events up across the Midwest that just totally wiped out the corn crops. I mean, there was losses into the 40 and 50 percentile range. I mean, that's pretty significant. So you go, okay, well, they're going to do better next year. Well, okay, yeah, they did. But then now what's happening? They're shipping grain out of here like there's no tomorrow. So what's our strategic grain supply look like in case we get in more bad weather? Hey, it's worth looking at. I'm gonna do some research on that one too, and if they're telling the truth, and if we can believe it, we'll see what that looks like. So now, this last weather event, I can't speak for Texas, but Oklahoma, 14 records were broken. 9 daily records and 5 monthly records. I mean, that's unreal, guys. I mean, I've never seen it this cold in February. I was born in 62. I barely remember the one in 67. It came in also in February in 67, and there were snow drifts as high as the fence rows beside the road. It took them 2 weeks to ever plow the roads out. Back at that time, they didn't have all the equipment they have now. But our mom, she huddled us on the couch and triple layered her clothes and then put 2 big quilts on top of us to keep us warm that night. And a lot of people lost power then. And that's the worst one I can remember. So that tells you how bad this one was. It didn't have the ice this one had, but it definitely had a lot more snow. So anyhow, guys, not gonna doomsday you here. But just so you can get prepared for these kind of events. If we just sit down on our hands and go, well, I'm gonna go to the grocery store, get what I need. Well, you've already seen the effects of that. We went today. There was big holes in the shelves and mainly staple things, but you know, you got to take that in consideration. We got enough pea seed. I'm talking about red cow peas, purple hull peas. We could probably plant 1/3 of an acre. We may have to eat some of those. Who knows? But again, make sure you got enough seeds. Most people that are prepping for these kind of events recommend a 3 to 5 year seed supply. That's not a really bad idea, because guess what? You take a couple, 3 of these events and it hits hard enough, you're not gonna have a crop to make extra seed. You see what I mean? So you want to buffer your seed supply. Most bean and pea seed keep really good without being frozen in the freezer, or as long as you keep them cool and dry, they're going to work good for you. But just a heads up, when we gave you this update, I did look at the carrots out here in the bed we planted this February, if you remember that video. They have not germinated yet. It's because they didn't have enough time before this hit, so we're thinking they're going to go ahead and germinate and sprout. We'll follow up on that and we'll let you know what happened there, and then hopefully by next week, we'll be planting some of these onions. If it dries up enough, we'll see. But potatoes and onions are next. Snow peas, we'll put all those in the field. All this will be field crops. So, thank you for tuning in, guys. Hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe bell, and we're going to be with you through this all the way.